Okay, we were on. Yeah, you were doing that, and I'm like, this guy's got his hair done, and I am wearing a hat right now. And I like to do my hair for the episode because it sets the tone, you know? It's like
Right,
dress
absolutely,
for
absolutely.
success, man, you know?
Hey, dress for success.
Yeah. Dude, I still can't get over how cool this logo is, but
Bro, you don't even okay, so
the most
you
masculine shit
again,
I've seen in a long time.
dude, honestly, to tell you the truth, so you have one of those two shirts, bro. Those are the only two media shirts that are out there. So that's a one. Two,
Hey.
you also have one of the only shirts where the logo's on the front because all the new merch,
Yeah.
uh, it's all on the back.
So everyone can
And
see it.
yeah, so everyone can see it. And then on the front, it says, it has the logo and has Generation Gray written across the chest. So,
Savage.
um,
Savagery.
dude, and you know what's even better about it? I have my artist working on another logo right now, and
Yeah.
we're gonna tease it here, but in post, you're not allowed to. You know what I mean? Yeah,
No,
I wanted to get it out for Halloween, but shit just didn't work out that way, and I love the design anyways. And I ran it
yeah.
by a couple people, and they were like, "Dude, fuck Halloween. I'd wear that anyways."
Yeah. That's why I just wear it out.
So
I'm like, it's a cool shirt.
right,
But
exactly.
yeah, that's part of the fun though of starting your own type of thing, you know? Just creating something that's sick.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, it's been a lot of work, but it's paying off. Um,
Yeah.
I've run into some things recently that are annoying because I have my LLC now for not only my media portion of it, but also for Generation Gray as a
Yeah.
whole. And once you actually get like the business, and you actually get your LLC going, um,
Yeah.
it's weird but cool also at the same time getting mail with your
Mhm.
company name on it, and you're like a little fucking nerd on the inside. You're
Yeah. I made it.
like, you
I
know,
made it.
right? And but
Yeah.
then you also start getting alarming shit that they don't ever fucking tell you about. Like you'll get stupid letters in the mail where they're talking about, oh, you need to pay X amount of money for a certificate of good standing. And I'm like, is this an actual thing? Are they just scamming me for money? Like, what the actual
Yeah.
fuck? Because if it's a legitimate thing, why wasn't it a part of the process of setting it up with the LLC, with the IRS, all of that? You know what I mean? Because
Interesting.
when you get your EIN, like, why isn't that a part of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So, did you
Uh,
figure out if it's, like, legit? Or did you just pay
dude,
it and what?
that's bro. The verdict's not in yet.
Dude,
So
I
I've
feel like
seen some.
sometimes I feel like sometimes when stuff like that comes up in real life, you're just like, I don't know if this is a scam or real, so I'm just gonna wait, and if I don't hear anything else, I guess
Bro,
I'm good, bro.
no,
Dude,
you
I
want to
have
know? Okay,
shit like
so
that.
so you want to know what it is? Is that on the paperwork it says, "Oh, you need this, you need that," and then I talked to Mister Sweeney, which is
Yeah,
the gentleman that owns the school that I go to, and I asked him about it. He goes, "You don't have to worry about that shit. They're just trying to get extra money out of you. It's a scam." But then when
yeah,
you read the paperwork, it says this started January of 2024. So he might be grandfathered in. It might be something that he doesn't even fucking know about.
oh, I got you, yeah.
You know what
Hmm,
I mean? So I genuinely don't know, bro. And everything that I looked up, there's mixed. Like some people are saying that, oh, no, it's legitimate, but you can get all that shit for free. You don't have to pay anybody for it. And then there's
yeah,
other people who are like, no, you have to pay. So I'm kind of at a point like right now, as well as I do that Uncle Sam's going to get his money no matter what.
oh,
So,
yeah,
eventually I'll probably get something in the mail that'll be like, hey, asshole, you need to do this. So,
yeah, yeah.
uh, you
It's a
know,
waiting game, a learning process, I guess, right? If anyone has an
yeah.
LLC if anyone has an LLC and knows, please let us know.
Yeah. Please, dude, for the love of God, yes, let us know
Yeah.
because, I'm not trying to get in trouble with the government. You know how that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. That's interesting. My situation like that was in my motorcycle accident, which was so long ago. You know, it was like March of 2023, I think, and I got like a bill, like which health medical bills come later sometimes. You know, like months down the
Right,
road.
right, right, right.
But I got this like Geico was the person's insurance that hit me. So like Geico
Mhm.
basically paid for my medical bills, but I continuously got calls from the hospital. It's like, you owe blah blah blah. And like I would email Geico and be like, hey, are you sure like this is paid? They're like, yes, it's fine. And I'm like, for like months, I get letters in the mail and shit. And I'm like, I guess if my credit score isn't getting slammed, I'm
Right.
good.
That's
Like
what I
I'm
was
like,
about to
because I
say.
don't yeah. I'm like, because they told me it was paid. So I don't know. And then I'm just like a waiting game. And then eventually I never got those phone calls again. But you know what phone calls I still do get is the 80-second activating drills, dude. I still get those calls. And I
Bro,
blocked that number. I blocked that number. And the army would be
no,
like,
hey, listen,
like
you are you're on
alert.
staff duty. You're late.
Yeah. Alert mass notification. You know when it does like the Corvettes and shit? Yeah. I
Mhm.
don't think probably not allowed to say it on here, but whatever. They're talking about
I
cars,
mean,
guys.
yeah. 100%. Just know
Yeah, yeah.
that the 82nd Airborne will call you and like to find out what your favorite sports car is.
Yeah.
Speaking of, don't know if you can make that out or not.
Oh yeah, you got it. Nice. I have one of those. You got your bourbon in
Yeah.
there that you were drinking last night?
Yeah, and speaking of last night, you know what I mean. Had to celebrate. You know, I know that there's
Did you
going to be
get
some
hammered?
salty ass mother. No, I didn't get hammered. I had school the next day, bro. Are you
Oh
kidding
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no, no. I didn't get hammered. You know, I did have a few. Dude, I felt like an absolute fucking nerd because Nikki messaged me and was going like, "What are you doing?" And I sent her a video, and she goes, "You're actually watching that live?"
Oh, you
I
have
was
to,
like,
bro.
yeah, I'm literally, yeah, 100%. I'm literally watching the live map as it gets colored in 100%.
Yeah.
And I was on the
It's a
phone with my
slow
buddy,
burn.
right? I was on the phone with my buddy Michael as it was happening, and you know, we were just talking in general, and it was, I don't know, man. For me, it made sense because like we all get around and we talk about, you know, we'll gather for football games or UFC events or you know family graduations, but like you know every 4 years, you know
Exactly.
we
It's
elect a
like a
new
big deal.
president.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, why the fuck? Like, I was telling people that I was watching that shit last night and talking to some buddies, and they were like, "You watch that? That's like watching the NFL draft." And
Yeah.
I'm
It's like,
like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
yeah. I just think when I watch it and I'm like, I wonder how many like now that it's a competition, but I'm like, I wonder like people who would vote Democrat or vote for Kamala Harris. I'm like, how many of them are actually sitting there watching this? Like, do they actually care, or are they just like vote like where I'm sitting there like anxiously like, uh, 5 more hours, come on, you know?
No, dude, it's funny you say that. So me and Nikki were sitting there watching it, and we're on the phone. At this point, we were on the phone for like 2 hours,
Yeah,
and she's like fighting going to sleep, and
yeah,
she goes, "Fuck, dude, Georgia just turned already, bro. Just
yeah, yeah,
cast
yeah.
it. Just hurry up and turn." And she eventually was just like, "Fuck it, I got to go to bed."
Hmm.
And she goes, "Well, let me know what happens because I know your ass has insomnia and you're going to be staying up late. So if you know if he winds up winning, you know, call
Yeah,
me, wake me up, let me know." Um, but yeah, sitting there watching it, you know, I felt like not like I know what's you know how to properly do stocks, but I
yeah,
felt
yeah,
like I was a broker at one point in time. I was talking to
yeah,
Michael.
yeah,
I'm like, they just turned blue.
yeah,
Oh, never
exactly.
mind. Just turn red.
It's like
It just turned back red.
I was watching a certain news network, and they're literally like they have all types of people on their laptops tracking it and stuff, and I'm like, they're getting new news coming in their headsets and shit, and I'm like, this is,
Hmm.
I mean, it's obviously a big deal, but I didn't want to go to bed until I knew, just because I don't know if I'd be able
Same.
to fall asleep. But I don't know if you feel this way. Like early on in the night, it might have been because I was watching like a conservative channel, which we can talk about that later because some of them annoy me. Anyways, but I was
No, no,
they
no, 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 no. Hey, Hey, in the words
I'll
of
circle around. I'll circle around to it.
no, in the words of my buddy MJ, use names. Use names.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I was watching the Daily Wire with like Ben Shapiro and stuff, and they were like giving the updates. So it was cool because it was like entertaining, like to listen to them while
Right.
actually getting the updates. So that was cool. The part that's not cool is it was like a panel of people, and a few of those guys are like the reason moderate people wouldn't like conservatives. Let's put it that way. Whether they're like extremely
Got you.
religious or keep making like stupid remarks. Like the one guy's like, "Oh, the needle on the New York Times is at 88. You know, that's a code number for Hitler. I wonder if this is all coming together," like mocking liberals.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, it was extreme.
No.
And then the other guy was like, "I'm so pro-life, I can't even say how pro-life I am because we'll get kicked off the air." Like that type of shit.
Oh,
And
God.
I'm like, these dudes are like not all of them. There's some dudes on that panel that were super cool, like Jordan Peterson. He's a psychologist. And
Oh yeah, come on now,
Ben
bro.
Shapiro.
I know.
Yeah, I like. Oh yeah, of course you do. I'm like talking to you like you don't know who that. Like you wouldn't know who that
Yeah,
is.
right. The fuck.
But he was there, and that was really cool. So it was interesting to watch. But I felt very early on in the night. I kind of had like a sense that Trump was going to win, like probably by 8 p.m. because they were like, if he wins Georgia, which he's ahead in, and I'm like, but I remember 2020 where like overnight it changed. So I was like super weirded out. I'm like, I kind of need to stay up to watch what actually happens. But yeah, so for me, it was like, it wasn't like once Trump finally won, I was like, oh, okay, cool. It wasn't as like a switch, because the whole night leading up, it was like Trump's like in the lead. Like
he's destroying. No, here's the thing. He was destroying. And again, maybe somebody out there can correct me, but from what I saw, and I was watching the live map, from the moment it started, I mean, like within the first 5 minutes, he was like double her fucking score, like as far as like the votes went. And I was like, damn, this is going good. But like you said, I watched all the old the last election, and it was looking good then too. And then all of a sudden, a state that I was born in, I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then all of a sudden, that state went from red to, oh, well, we're putting everything on pause for 2 hours. And then all of a sudden it comes back, and then states that were red all of a sudden turn blue. I was like, man, no.
So that was the cool part of watching the Daily Wire, because they were like giving the conservative side updates, But apparently Pennsylvania was gonna, I don't know if they told this on other news networks, but apparently Pennsylvania was gonna pause like counting votes, and they were going to resume in the morning. But they said the RNC and all like their attorneys and stuff like threatened to sue them. So they like basically like, we're like, no, you can't stop, keep going, or we're going to like sue you pretty much. So they basically were forced to finish.
A good thing. You think about it, bro. Yes, because think about it, bro. Because back in the day, bro, this whole pause shit, we had to wait until the next day to figure out what the fuck happened. That was never a thing. That was never a thing, bro. Yeah. And then, so you were watching Ben Shapiro. I was watching Steven Crowder, and I was also watching the Officer Tatum, Brandon Tatum, and I was watching their streams. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Crowder had people in like key states, like that was on the ground, like so he could like talk to them and be like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I even watched. Well, no, I didn't tune into his channel, but Steven actually talked to Brandon Russell for a little bit on his stream, because he was also streaming it. Which again, that guy's crazy, man. I don't know if you know much about Brandon Russell.
No, I don't. I don't know the name.
If you ever get a chance,
recognize him if I saw him.
Like he's the oh man, I'm trying to think of Get Him to the Greek. I believe he was in that. I want to say he was in that. I can't remember. But anyways, point being is that that dude's entire life has changed. Like he used to be like fucking hardcore on drugs and all over the place, and used to be far left, like extremely far left. And he's switched up now, and he's doing a lot better in life.
Yeah.
And kudos to him.
Yeah, that's good. I think we saw that like a lot, because like even me, I'm sitting here like thinking about throughout the day, like kind of self-reflecting on like my past and stuff. And I'm like, well, when I was younger, I was super religious. So obviously I had conservative views. And then after going to the army and like meeting people from all over, you realize, hey, not everyone's life was like mine. There are actual issues out there, like on the more social level, you know? So then,
right.
yeah. And then once I like wasn't religious anymore, it was more like, well, obviously, like some of these issues make sense. So I was very moderate on like a lot of things. You know what I mean? But like this election really, and like leading up to this election, like the left has like they've destroyed these social issues, like things that are actually
Mm-hmm.
out there and things that actually do need addressed. That's literally like they put it in people's face so much they've ruined it. Does that make sense? It's like you can't walk up to a guy who has never been racist in his life, like doesn't even like, you know, when I grew up in a small town, like my best friend in kindergarten was black. I was a kid. I didn't know any different. We were just friends. You know what I mean? And that's how I
Right.
grew up.
Exactly.
Never thought anything of it. You can't walk up to someone who's like that and be like, hey, you need to like apologize to people or do this or do that because your white ancestors or your white ancestors' friends were slave owners. It's like, well, now you've just caused a huge problem. It's like, it's frustrating to me because it's like there are these issues. Like racism is a thing, like
Yeah.
sexism is a thing, but to the point where they've become so woke and they've ruined it. Like nobody wants to listen to you now. So that's why I think we
Well,
saw a lot of people come over to the right because we're like, okay, the left has completely gotten out of control. You know what I mean?
Absolutely did.
It's
Because the
terrible.
left
It's
isn't
so
even
obnoxious.
right. Because the Democratic Party is not anything what it used to be.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
now
completely
I mean,
changed.
like it went from being like woke to now it's woke to a point that if you don't agree with every little thing, you're just canceled.
Yeah.
And you know, on like the topics that you were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
Those are topics that genuinely, you know, I found myself having more conversations with people lately,
Yeah.
and I feel genuinely in my heart that if you actually have an open mindset and you know you put your feelings aside and you're
Yeah.
not like you know, you're not in the conversation emotionally, I guess,
Yeah.
you're actually able to come to a lot of like deep understandings as
You'll
to
make
why
more. Yeah.
you know people think that the way that they do. So,
Yeah.
and I think that the country needs more of that because at the end of the day, if we're not able to sit down and converse and talk about different cultures and you know have a
Yeah.
understanding with each other, how the fuck are we all supposed to learn? How the fuck are we all
Yeah.
supposed to be able to get along and move past things? You know?
Yeah. It's interesting to me because I'm like, the way I see it is a lot of the right like isn't even that way at all. But they also live in like more rural areas that are like smaller, less populated, less diverse. So they almost don't even have to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like they don't even have
Oh,
to
oh,
like they don't even have to worry about accepting someone for their differences because everyone around them is like them.
right. So to caveat on what you said, and I'm so glad that you brought that up. Go
Yeah.
look at the map right now. You can literally fact check me if you want. In
I think I know what you're gonna say because I posted it.
every single state, when you clicked on it,
It's insanely red.
everything that didn't have a major city's name, everything else was red
Yeah.
in damn near every state. And I think that it kind of goes back to like the old westerns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
City boy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like that whole you like what is it like the what do they call them? Like the city slickers. Um,
Yeah.
you, and
It's
do you know what I'm talking about? Like there's a stigma with people that live in the city that
yeah. Yeah. I know
essentially
what you're
like
talking
they
about.
don't want to get their hands dirty and all this
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
stuff. And I
Yeah.
feel like that
Like city boy,
relates
city
more.
boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like it kind of like pointed towards that because
Yeah.
I had saw people saying that, oh well, there's a reason why all the major cities are like blue, right? And you know all the rural areas are red. It's because the cities are educated.
Yeah,
And I'm
so that's
like,
actually where I was
define
gonna go.
education
That's where I
because
was
if you're talking about academia, yeah, the academia is going to teach them to be a specific way.
yeah.
But if we're talking about like education wise, a lot of those dudes that live in the city, and let's be real, and we know a lot of them, they can't even
Mhm.
change a tire on a car, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna
So,
I'm glad you brought that up because there's a lot of different points I wanted to hit within this whole entire subject. But that's so frustrating to me because as someone who like values education, I feel like I didn't like in the past. But as I'm in college and stuff,
Mm.
I like realize I'm like, dude, like learning is like the coolest thing to me. I love it now that I'm older and I can actually pay attention, right? And then I see like all of these like scholars or whatever you want to call them, like people who have PhDs, like doctors and stuff, or like there's a certain person. I don't think you knew them in the army, but it's like a high ranking officer that I served with. And
Okay.
he's actually liberal, and he posted on his Instagram, he's like, it's sad to see people thinking that scientists, like historians, journalists who have spent their whole life on their career are just doing it to deceive you. Essentially what he's saying. Like, because conservatives will be like, no, that's not true. You know what I mean? But these guys have spent like all these years in like schooling and stuff. But what they don't understand also is there's so much that goes into it. First of all, there's a certain type of person that wants to go to college. You know what I mean? And a lot of these
Right.
dudes that have common sense and are hardworking dudes just go in the workforce. Okay. So you already
Right.
have like a liberal like advantage when you go to a university because those are the type of people that are like, okay, they want to sit in class, they want to learn more versus just like go out and be a man, you know, whatever. And then you
Yeah, I was
also
gonna
have,
say you got to put an air quotation on that
yeah.
because somebody's gonna pick that up, clip it.
And
Be a man. What does that mean?
yeah. And then you also have like the professors teaching a certain way. And then even on the deeper level, the government telling like having an impact on what the schools are teaching. So I don't want to get too like conspiracy level, but literally it's like, well, yeah, if your government is kind of telling the schools what to teach, eventually these people will be the future and they'll be programmed to think a certain way and everyone will be like that. So for me, it's super
Right.
frustrating because I'm like, I'm on campus, and while it is a college in South Carolina, so there's a lot of like young conservative men there, like a lot of religious dudes. Um, it's still frustrating because there's people in my class that like will say stuff, and I'm just like, I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, how am I gonna make it? I'm gonna make it through like, hopefully at least a master's, you know, program and like out alive educationally, you know what I mean? Like not get like suppressed somewhere. No, I'm serious because this is like something that I didn't even think of, but it happened to someone that's like close to me. Is they wrote a paper in college and the
Okay.
staff basically alerted like the rest of the staff and was like, hey, this person is a danger to like because it was a paper on race, essentially. And so
Oh my God.
they wrote about their opinion, and basically they were like their name was slandered across. And I was like, dude, like, what if I was ever like, I don't even give my conservative views in class because my professors that I have, I most likely will have them again, like for another class. And I'm like, the last
Right.
thing I need is for like, so I from not to play the victim on the conservative side. Like, I'm just like, I can't even speak up, bro, because I'm terrified that they're gonna be like, oh, this is a fucking MAGA dude. Like, don't let him get his like further education, you know. But I don't know because I sat down with my one of my professors like in the religion field at the end
Hmm.
of my semester last year, and I was like joking with her about like how I think like super critically about everything. I think about both sides all the time. I basically have conversations with myself. And her response was, she's like, "Oh, that's the type of person we're looking for." So that was super encouraging because I like from how she teaches, she is more liberal. But I was like, "Oh, she wasn't like, hey, you need to think this way." It was more like, "Okay, you think about both sides, that's good." And I was like, "Okay, I'm in safe water right now." like
Right,
like
dude.
don't get too crazy.
It's sad that you even have to think like that. I
It's
just had a
terrible, man.
conversation that I had a conversation not too long ago. And again, this is going to be a sensitive topic, but I genuinely believe that it needs to be talked about more.
Mhm.
Um, I think that in the modern day, regardless of what anybody thinks, I think one of the most conscious beings out there have to be the straight white man,
Yeah.
right? And the reason I say that is because if you say like in the modern day era, if you care about you wanting a future or having a business or having a life or whatever, um, it feels like majority of society is just waiting to get the "I got you" moment to cancel you.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
for
you're on thin
example,
ice.
if you right, if you say the wrong thing to a woman, oh, you're sexist. Or
Yeah.
if you say something that could be potentially perceived or taken out of context, then you're a racist. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Because, and let's be real, other races and ethnicities aren't walking around with that same
Worry, pretty much.
hesitancy. Yeah, that same hesitancy to, watch what they say. Because, I'll be the first. I'll be the first one to say it. And I don't care if people like it or not. You know, in the current environment that I find myself in, right?
Yeah.
Where I go to school, um, dudes, dudes say fucking fucked up shit all the time. White
Yeah.
people this, white people that, da 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 da. And I'm Irish and Spanish, right? So I'm not even like full white.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything of it because I grew up in Maryland, so it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I just whatever, they're just shooting the shit. That's just my train of thought.
Yeah.
But on that opposite side of that coin, had I or somebody who else is not perceived as black were to say the same thing, bro, they'd get crucified. They get canceled.
Yeah.
They'd probably get jumped.
You get beat up.
Like,
yeah.
it's absurd. And I think in a modern day era, if we're trying to, move away from, what some people believe to be a racist society, we should be making an effort to eliminate that across the board, not just for, African Americans or, Asians or Mexicans. That should encompass everybody.
Yeah.
But, that's just my train of thought.
Yeah. And to continue on the political subject, I think that's why I text you and you were like, you were ready to like watch the election. And you were like, oh, Trump's going to win. And I was like hesitant. And I realized, oh shit, like I'm hesitant because like my environment right now is very like liberal, right? But the moment I step out of that, I'm like, holy shit, like most people are gonna vote for Trump. You know what I mean? But I was so like surrounded by that. I'm like, oh no, dude. Like, and the thing that I talked about earlier a little bit, how I realized I was very conservative and then I became more moderate. And then I find myself a lot more conservative now too, just because I think things logically make sense. But
right.
I also realized you were saying the Democratic Party isn't what they used to be, which is true. But a lot of young people are not young Democrats. And I say this as a person that lives amongst these people. Like they want socialism. They actually do. Like it's not like an extreme. It's not a slander word to the left. It's literally like they want socialism. They want the government. If you could be like, hey, the government owns every house and they're going to just give it to you for your life and the government just going to send you to school and the government's just going to give you stuff for your family, they would be 100% okay with that.
Right.
In theory, right? Until shit hits the fan and then the government can
it's not in theory, bro. It's sad.
No,
bro,
I'm saying
okay.
I think it's a good idea in theory, obviously.
Oh, yeah. 100%, dude.
Yeah.
Because majority of the people
that. They're not just Democrat views. It's actually like, I want the government, like someone being like, why don't the rich people pay for my college? Oh, you want them to pay for your college so you can go drink and fuck all 4 years and then fail out of your college? Imagine that, dude. Imagine that.
Dude, it's crazy because all right, I'll use an example, right? I'm not gonna say any names out of respect for them.
Canceled.
Right? I legitimately had multiple conversations with people leading up to the whole election, and then anybody who said essentially, "Hey, I'm going to vote for Kamala." I'm like, okay, I mean that's cool. Can I ask you like what she did to earn your vote?
Yeah.
And I'm just out of curiosity because at the end of the day, I love having like conversation.
Oh yeah.
And majority of the people, it was basically, I'm voting for Kamala because Orange Man bad.
Yeah, it's not Trump. Yeah.
What? I was like, okay. I agree that he should have parental controls put on his social media, right? Now, outside of that, like, what policies don't you like? Didn't have an answer. What policies do you like that Kamala is trying to implement? Didn't have an answer.
Yeah.
It was just literally, I hate Trump's personality. And then it's crazy because it's dude. Every day, society gets closer to the movie. What is it? Idiocracy.
I don't think I've seen
I,
that.
I don't know. Oh, bro, you have to watch it, dude. I'm telling,
I'll have to
bro.
watch it. No,
Put that on your list right now. You have to watch it. It's gonna be funny. Um, but it's just sad, bro. Because how many times have you personally just been in a scenario where you were just like, you know what? Fuck it, dude. I'm about to be a villain. I'm just gonna start speaking my mind and not giving a fuck about what anybody else thinks. And
Yeah.
genuinely, if they don't like it, they don't like it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But you had to come to your senses and go, well, I can't walk around like that, because if I do that, then I'm going to lose out on a lot of opportunities. And the people that do think the way that I do,
Mhm.
those people aren't standing up to support the ones that are actually speaking out. They're
Yeah.
not, because they're afraid to be associated with it. They might text you and be like, "Hey, bro, I really liked what you said,"
Yeah.
but
Exactly. Yeah. Not
but
gonna
I mean,
share
like
and post your stuff on their page. Yeah.
yeah, exact, bro. Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And
Like
honestly, I'm at a point where I'm starting to not give a fuck, bro.
you're like
Because
someone had to do it, man.
no, dude, bro, you don't even understand. Like, not to move away from the subject, but fuck the election,
Yeah.
bro. People are constantly out here trying to take advantage of me,
Yeah.
and I genuinely mean that, bro.
Sexually
Like,
and financially.
no, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, back to the serious topic.
Gonna get me in fucking trouble. Like, he's gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Fuck is he talking about?"
You're like, it's a
No.
joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, no, seriously. But
By the way, remind me on a funny note to bring up my Facebook post later. Anyways, keep going.
okay, I will. So I don't know, man. I just feel like the further I get in life, and the further I
Yeah.
try to like pursue my goals and things like that, and be an entrepreneur. Um,
Yeah.
dude, I have so many people that just mistake my kindness as weakness
Yeah.
and consistently abuse what it is that I'm offering, right? Because I'm in school for barbering right now, but
Yeah.
I do photography and video editing on the side still. And
Mhm.
I have a few people that I network with, and I work with them, and it's a mutually known thing, and we have mutual respect for each other,
Yeah.
and that those relationships are fucking completely kosher. Like, not gonna say kosher, but like, they know who they are, so they're not the people I'm talking to. I have
Yeah.
people literally message me and expect me to do like photos and videos and stuff for them, without getting paid,
Compensation. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then the times that I have done things for people that I didn't get paid for, it was 100%. There's some scenarios where I can think of like three off the top of my head that they was just not appreciated. Bro,
Yeah.
I've done stuff for people and they don't tag me in it. They don't use it. Do you know how fucking annoying that is? To sit
Yeah.
there
That's
and
terrible.
like spend time editing something and they don't ever use it,
Yeah.
or to take photos and then they use it and then they don't ever tag you in it, bro. It is the most aggravating shit ever, because
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I don't have
It's
to be doing
it's
this.
simple.
I could
Yeah.
have charged you up front
Yeah.
100%, but I
Mhm.
didn't. And now you want to take advantage of it? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's aggravating, because I would never come to you, right? I'd be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Cam, I really want you to be my personal trainer." And then you go,
Yeah.
"Okay, cool." And then you
And then
put time into like writing out a diet, and then coming up with a program, and then going to the gym and working out with me and doing all this. And then after 3 weeks of this, you're like
I'm
looking at
starting to
me
be
like,
like, Where's the cash app?
Yeah, like hey, bro, like I do.
It's like an unspoken
I
rule.
do this for a living.
A living. Yeah.
Like I'm trying to make money doing this. Like, don't get me wrong. You're the homie, and I got you, and we
Exactly.
can
Yeah,
work
yeah.
out like maybe a discount or something. But
It's still it's like boundaries, man.
where's
It's
my
like,
money, bitch?
you
Like,
should just save that picture, make a meme, like a meme font. Where's my money, bitch? And send that to people.
bro, yeah, get it on a shirt right there. Just where's my money, bitch?
Yeah,
just
yeah,
with my big ass forehead.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, and then you'll either get your money or they'll just think it's super funny or super weird and never talk to you again. But I mean, that's the worst
right.
case.
And again, I'm not talking to the people that I work with on a consistent basis, and we have a mutual understanding, and we're actually trying to achieve stuff and get things done. Right? Those aren't the
Yeah.
people I'm talking to. So those people, again, not going to drop any names. You know who you are. But for the rest of the people out there, hey, I'm going to say this one time here. PSA: I don't fucking work for free. I don't. So you want some bomb ass pictures? You want a good video?
Yes, sir.
Then you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, now that Trump's elected, the economy might be better and people won't try to take advantage of you. Who knows?
That or they'll be like,
people, so.
no, bro, there's a lot of salty people out there. I wouldn't be surprised if I got a message that was like, hey, so I'm really in my feels because Kamala didn't win.
Oh, yeah.
So, could you like just do it for free? You just stroke the political fire a little bit. How hard has it been for you to not just fucking get on social media and fucking emote on people and just be like, fuck you, you lost, all that shit you guys were talking, all that propaganda, blah, blah, blah.
So for me, I was talking to Jocelyn a lot about it because I don't know. I like to spend a lot of my time in my day like thinking about my intentions and stuff like that. Like, thinking about my intentions, thinking about like my past, thinking about like why I do what I do. All the mind fuck shit, overthinking everything.
Right.
But I'm simply like, okay, I spent like probably since January like posting stuff about Trump like at least multiple times a week. So now I'm like, okay, I kind of told myself, I was like, after the election, regardless of the results, like if Kamala wins, I was just going to delete social media to distance myself from all the stuff that would come up.
You were going to tap out, not take your L, bro?
No, I would take the L, but here's the thing. I was like, with the whole censorship thing and everything, I was like, if Kamala wins, I'm going to be so salty. I'm going to delete all my accounts because I'm like, eventually they'll be censored anyways. Who gives a shit? Right. But I was like, if Trump wins, it's very much like, I don't remember because I was on deployment when Biden came into office, but I don't remember how, like if they really rubbed it in people's faces then. I'm sure they did. But
dude, can I give you like a brief little snippet?
Yeah.
Right when he won, they were just like, oh yeah, all you fucking dickheads out there that are voted for Cheeto Jesus, fuck you. And they were just like the most popular president. And anytime that anybody said anything about like the election and how things were kind of sketchy, they were like, cope. Take that L, cope.
Yeah.
It was horrible, bro.
Hardcore. Yeah. But so with that being said, I told myself, I actually made a video on my personal page. I mean, I don't have that many followers, but I'm just like, all right, like tomorrow I'll probably post a post if Trump wins, like, because we won. Duh. But after that, I'm gonna try my best to like chill out with the politics. Although I do think I could build a platform specifically on politics, but I don't think that's the route I want to go just because it stresses me out more than it should. And I know that has a pull over me, and I don't like that. Like I have commented on Instagram posts, say, right, in the past. And then I get liberals commenting back, getting notifications on my phone. Boom, boom, boom. So-and-so tag you in a
comment. You're going back and forth with them?
Yeah, no, I don't. But as soon as I see the like their like response and stuff, I'm like, dude, this is making me so frustrated. And I was like, I can't do this. So every time now I like start to type a comment or like someone posts something on their story and I'll go to like type up like what actually makes sense. I'll literally delete that shit and I'll be like,
dude.
no, it's not worth it. And then
I do
I told
I do the
Jocelyn
same
post
thing.
something and someone commented on it like bashing her. And I was like, babe, don't get wrapped up in it because yeah, it's gonna be all you think about for like the next hour of what to say back. And it's just terrible. I'm like,
Yep.
and then the people that just sit there and do it all day and comment on all these posts, I'm like, first of all, like, let's be real. No one really cares about your opinion, right? Like, no one does. Like, no one cares what Cameron Unks has to say on Facebook, but I like to post what I post anyways. But I know that
Right.
I'm not like special, right? So I'm like, okay, no one really cares. Number two, I don't want to argue with people. And number three, like, these people that are just out here commenting on everything, like, if I see a cool post by like a celebrity I like or something, and I comment fire emojis or something like that, that's different. I'm talking about like actually getting into the weeds of comment sections. Like, I don't want to spend my time in my day doing that. You know what I mean? I try to limit social media as much as I can, anyways. And then I'm like, dude, I didn't even know about comments. I mean, I knew comments were a thing, but when I started dating Jocelyn, she would go to a TikTok, and while the TikTok's playing, she clicks on the comments and like swipe
Bro, no,
reads.
no. Okay, hold on. We're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
letting that slide. You mean to tell me that you used to consume content and you never looked at the comments?
Yes, 100%. Like on
Bro,
TikTok,
get the
like
fuck out of
yeah.
here, bro.
If you ever had to like click on comments and scroll through them, I didn't do that ever. I would just
Dude,
keep scrolling,
bro, that's
keep
part of
scrolling.
the fun.
I know.
So
I
a lot.
realize that now.
Hold on. So
It's a trap.
okay, all my friends that are gonna watch this that know me, like actually truly know me,
Yeah.
uh, they know that I'm kind of the same way. I find myself like this, like literally, like I'll see something and then I'll go, well, that's fucking stupid, and I'll find myself like typing a response, but then
Yeah.
I just go, you know what? I'm gonna let it go because at the end of the day,
Dude,
there's no
it's
arguing with stupid, right?
so
But
bad.
I come
Yeah.
across some comments that I just cannot let
You
go,
gotta do it.
and I have to. And here's the thing: the ones that I do it, my friends know that I love trolling. I
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah.
do,
You're just picking on someone. Yeah. Like
bro.
baiting
And
them. Like,
so
come on.
legitimately, I just I wind up trolling them. And I literally have like I've honestly thought about doing like a whole series based on like a daily dose of chaos,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
and literally just being like that asshole that thought that he was going to one up me in the comments, and I just troll them. I've had people, I literally in my Facebook right now, I can show you a comment. I got
Yeah.
into a whole fucking dispute with this dude, and he like DM'd me personally and goes, hey bro, I took all the posts down, it wasn't worth it, like you made me look really bad, I'm sorry. And I was like, I never responded just because I knew that I was in that dude's head fucking rent free. Like, bro, I'm an
terrible.
agent. I'm an
You're
agent
terrible,
of
man.
chaos, bro. An agent. But
Yeah, not
no.
me, man. The only time really now that I'll look at comments is if the video, like you said, it's part of the fun. Like if I'm watching a funny video, usually the first comment is gonna be something hilarious too. I'm like, okay, what are people saying about this? You know, which is
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
I love that. So
Have you ever come across one of those videos that you were just like, you watched it and you either laughed because it was funny, or you were like, oh my god, this person is literally dumb. And then you went to the comments, you're like, I know they're frying this dude. Hold on, let me see this. And you clicked on it, and the whole comment section is just them
right.
roasting that
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was something
dude,
today.
those are.
Yeah, I saw a video like that today, and I opened the comment section, and everyone is like basically saying what I would say, and I'm like, oh gosh, this person's getting slammed right now. But
Okay,
no,
so
what I
here,
do
okay,
like, here's what I do like with comments though, is I was like a month back, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this whole like TikTok thing for the algorithm and actually like pick a
okay.
subject and stick to it. Right. I newsflash,
Wait, what are you talking about? Is this like
I
a
didn't
challenge or something?
no, I'm just saying like when you're actually trying to build content, you want to post every day, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, 100.
and so
percent
that was my thought. And I'm like, but I gotta kind of like stick to like a lot of these people that do TikTok and are just like themselves, they have like a catchphrase or like a certain thing that they wear or like, you know what I mean? Like something about them. So I started wearing my Trump hat, like not the Make America Great Again one, like the one that says Trump across it. And I would just like do short clips about like Trump or whatever and what makes sense. Right. And I did it for like a week. And then I was like, dude, if Trump wins, I'm going to run out of content. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can like roast the left until they lose. And then it's like, I don't want to keep roasting them. Like it's over.
Right.
But so I eventually stopped it, but the comments would go off and I could sit back and relax and like people were just at each other. And I'm like, yes, I'm like the emperor in Rome, you know, I'm just like, all right, fights. Ah, yes. Because I'm like, you know, like, conservatives are coming in on my behalf, so I don't have to explain myself. Thank God, because the first 2 videos I posted, people are like giving their liberal opinion, and I'm trying to like combat them. But then I'm like, oh, like when I do that shit, I can't do it, man, because I like worry about. I'm like, if I typo something, they love that shit. If you're arguing with something,
or you misspell something,
yes, that's what I'm saying. If you misspell
or
something,
you use the wrong there.
Yes. I went to comment on this is the most embarrassing shit ever. So, and this is when I learned my lesson. I got my PP slapped. Anyways,
wait, hold on. Is this your the Facebook thing you told me to remind you about?
No. That's a different thing.
Okay.
But anyways, I commented something about the border on like Kamala Harris's Instagram post. So obviously there's a ton of liberals looking at that shit. And I was typing it so fast that instead of spelling like border, like it's spelled, I put an A in there, like broad, or now I'm going to mispronounce it on here. What would that even make the word? Bird. Like it was misspelled. I put an A in border pretty much. Because I was just like, oh, send. Didn't even proofread it. Bro, the comments, like, I'm glad this guy's giving his opinion on a subject he doesn't even know how to spell. And I'm like, bro, I just lit myself on fire and just laid down. I'm like, this is the epitome. Like, you have to, like, if you don't use the right comma, like, I mean, everyone does that in arguments. If you're like arguing with me and then you're like, well, this person isn't that smart, they don't know what they're talking about because they like can't even spell this word. It's like, dude, I was in a rush.
No. All right. No, stop. We're gonna put that to rest right now. Okay. If you are losing an argument and you have to go to being a grammar police, right? Being a grammar Nazi, you automatically lose in my mind. And I use that against people all the time. I have a good friend of mine, and she is horrible about this. Like, even a casual conversation, if I spell something wrong, she has to fucking correct me. Yeah. And so now I just get to a point where I purposely do it, and like it drives her up a fucking wall, and I just I don't care, because I'm just like, bro, it's not that deep. Like, fucking relax.
Yeah.
And by the way, you sitting back and being like, yes, fight. Yes. That is you, my friend. I'm evil. Stamping it on you right now.
Yeah.
You're an agent.
Hell yeah.
You're an agent of chaos.
An agent of chaos. No, but a lot of times when I was like, yeah, I like facilitating it rather than being part of it, because I'm like, I already gave my opinion. So whatever I say in the video and you want to comment your opinion back to me, it's like, okay, I just literally put in the video what I'm saying. Like, you want me to keep on going? And thankfully TikTok and stuff like that, you can like respond in a video to someone's comment, but I didn't do that shit. I'm like, you know, I mean, it gives you a lot of content to respond to, but bro, the boring ass shit. And then you realize that the person commenting is probably like, dude, they don't even have a profile picture. It's just like user.
They don't. Oh
4,
my
6,
god,
8,
dude.
9, 10, 2, 3, 4, and you're like, why is user someone who didn't even create a fucking TikTok account commenting some dumb shit on my page?
And then the moment you respond to them, they literally respond within a minute. Yeah. And you're like, holy shit, this person doesn't have a life, bro.
It's like a bot.
This is literally what they're doing. You physically don't have a life. You don't have anything better to do with your fucking time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That you had to make a fake profile just to be confident enough to speak your own fucking mind. Do you know how pathetic that is?
Yeah.
You are literally so afraid of what people think that you had to create a profile just for you to have the balls
Yeah.
to
It's something to
speak
hide
your
behind.
own mind.
Something to hide
It's
behind.
crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely absurd.
Yeah, but it's so I'm gonna get into a deeper subject, but before I do that, I wanted to talk about the Facebook thing because this is hilarious, right? So this is not a
What did you
homophobic
do?
thing. No, I'm talking about you guys. So people don't understand army humor, bro. And I don't have it on
Oh
my
God! Oh.
laptop. But no, the post I recently posted, right? So I'm like, first of all, long story short, I'm like, all my followers are gonna think I'm gay as fuck, bro. Because all my army buddies' sense of humor is so gay, bro. Army sense of humor is like the most gay shit ever.
Bro, it's not
And
even
it's
the
like,
army. It's just the military in general.
yeah, that's what I mean. But it's like I post that picture of me on my motorcycle, and then so and so commented smash, and then so and
Yeah.
so.
Oh yeah. Was that Solar? It was Solar.
And then another guy comments, I second that or something, and then you say gangbang, Cam goes world tour, and then another person comments, hit it and don't quit it. And I'm like, dude, listen, my followers are like conservative Christian Pennsylvanian people that live in a small town. And they're probably sitting there being like, well, Cam had a great time in the army, you know? I'm like,
hey,
and meanwhile, my
you
profile
got?
picture has my beautiful girlfriend in it, and I'm just like, all these dudes are like just saying all this shit. I'm like, other army dudes get it, but bro.
Listen. For those of you who don't know, we were all in the army. Cam was actually in the Navy. You know, and for
hell no.
No, you know, all the vets out there will get that one, but no,
Bro.
dude, I have a hard time explaining that to people too, because they're just like, why is it that, you know, you military guys always say like the most off the wall shit, or you find like
dark humor, dirty humor,
yeah, like extreme dark humor. Like I watched a video the other day, and this dude was breakdancing in a subway, and then like some kid like came up and like he unknowingly fucking like kicked the kid, like, and the kid did like a backflip and like landed well, and I was just dying laughing, and people are like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "You have to understand that like we just I don't know, we just." You embrace
a lot. I think we're just a lot less sensitive to things. Like obviously, there's a time and a place.
You think that's what it is?
I think we're just a lot more like we're so used. I don't know, dude. I miss the army culture sometimes because it's like no one is worried about offending anybody. That's it. Like you said, walk around being worried about saying something wrong. It's like no one's worried about that, man. Like you laugh at the most crazy shit, you say the most crazy shit, and no one around you is gonna be like, "Hey, bad you, bad." It's like, dude, that's fucked up, and then everyone laughs, and it's funny. I think it's literally just a sensitive thing because, like, even I'll make jokes to Jocelyn or whatever, and she'll be like, "You're terrible," and I'll be like, she's obviously joking. She doesn't think I'm terrible,
right?
She'll be like, "That's terrible to say," or whatever, and I'm like, "Yeah, I know it's terrible to say. I don't actually mean it in the depths of my heart, right?" And she understands that. But like, if you said it out loud to somebody else that doesn't know you, they'd be like, "You're an actual terrible person," and you're like, "Dude, it's a joke." Like, because
did you see that video? Do you see that video that's going around on TikTok? It's the military one where he's like, we don't accept racism in the army anymore. And then he like pans over and the dude's doing push-ups. He's like, what did we learn today? And he's like, they're people now.
Yeah.
And like everyone in the comment section's like, that's fucking horrible. But like all the vets were just like laughing because, dude. First off, like I think
sisters, dude.
Exactly, dude. And I think you actually hit the nail on the head because I didn't really think about it. I think that's probably just genuinely what it was, because you could say some absolutely like in society would deem heinous shit to somebody, and then we all just kind of like look at each other and then just laugh because at the end of the day, you know that dude's got your back no matter what.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like you would make the most messed up jokes, but like you would be the first person to like actually be there for somebody. You know what I mean?
Right, 100%.
It's like that. It's like you make it like, I don't know, I don't want to necessarily like pick a certain joke to use it as an example because I don't want to be whatever on here. But it's like sometimes you make fun of like someone who's like walks weird or something like that, right? Whatever. And then it's like, but in reality, like if they needed me, even if I don't know them, I'd probably be the first person in a group to like stand up for them or help them. It's like the humor for us, I feel like is we actually
Bro,
view humor as humor. Humor is like fiction to us. It's like, oh, you like made that joke. Well, yeah, but obviously in a heartbeat, like we used to make jokes about like killing each other,
bro,
killing
you bet if
ourselves,
you would
doing
have
all this type of shit, banging
when
each
you were
other's girls and
downrange,
shit.
when you were
Like that's like
downrange,
jokes that you
say
make, and you're like, well, obviously, no, fucking do that.
right,
Go
exactly.
ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say like even furthermore, like a
Downrange.
prime example of this would be if you were downrange, right, and say you lost your leg. Okay, obviously, I'd be there, and I'd
Yeah.
make sure that you were okay, and like whatever. But
And any
five
conversation
years after
again,
you,
probably. Yeah.
5 years after you lost your fucking leg, and you were finally like over it,
And I'm gonna
you best
come
believe.
nubs.
You best
Nubs.
believe the first time that you fucking said some stupid shit to me, I'd be like, "Yeah, why don't you fucking stand up and say that to me?" And
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you just laugh
And
about
it's
it,
a
like
joke. Yeah.
because, yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. I think that is where our sense of humor comes from, is like a lack of sensitivity, kind of, which is a good thing if you
Mm.
can regulate it, obviously. But I feel like the average person, like not a woke person, but like the average person is just like not put in an environment like that to be like, oh, this is kind of normal. So even normal people that aren't woke would still be like, I mean, I learned that when I got out of the army and got like a serving job at a restaurant. Obviously, I'm not stupid, so I was like, okay, there's obviously things that I don't say, but I used to still say goofy shit like I'm gonna kill myself, like goofy shit like that. I'd be like, I'm just gonna kill myself like this, and like all the time, just joking, right? And then I eventually like, from the reactions I've got from people, like be like, uh, I'm like, oh, they don't get it. Maybe I should not talk like this anymore. I don't know. The military was just so, and like I don't want to talk about this because it makes me depressed and all sad and shit. But the military has become a lot more woke, like closer to when I was getting out. Like I feel like they're like we're working on cracking down those things, and I'm like, dude, yeah,
you don't get that shot.
yeah, yeah. But also like just like the way you talk and stuff, like because you have officers that went through college, they're coming in to be leaders in the military, and now you have enlisted soldiers that are down in the mud, like fucking saying shit that's not politically correct, and officers being like, whoa, like, no, don't talk like that around me.
You can't say that.
And it's like, dude, this is like, that's why I don't like talk about it, because I'm like, dude, woke is not the way to go with a force that's supposed to be able to kill anything in the
Hey,
planet.
I'll be the first one to say this, and I don't
It
care if
makes
I
me
get canceled.
nauseous, bro.
Right? No, I'll be the first one to say it, bro. And I said you can cut this whole section out if you want. So I'll do it like
Oh
this.
no,
Ready?
I won't. It's gonna be.
I just cut the clap in before it, and then clap after it, so you know exactly.
No, it's
No,
fine. I'm not gonna cut it.
I don't think that the military has any place for the woke bullshit. Because
No,
at the
not at
end of
all.
the day, we're supposed to be able to go and
Somebody wants to
essentially
torture you.
kill. Right, somebody. That's what our job is, bro.
Yeah.
Our job is, no matter what your MOS is, your job initially, first and foremost, is to essentially go to war if need be. That is your job.
Yep.
And how the fuck am I supposed to be downrange where the guy that's next to me is like, ew, I can't touch anything, and then is like putting down a spare T-shirt just to sit on some dirt. Like, no, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You don't belong here. You just don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah. And it's
And
not
I'm not saying, that there isn't a job for you in the actual military. I'm just saying that, especially combat MOSs, should not be a thing. Shouldn't.
Yeah. No. I don't know.
Because it makes me sad too, bro. But I also saw it with, like your gen, coming after, like, I had been there for a while. Because, like, again, like me and Dixon remember what it was like. Me, Dixon, Sazowskis, we remember what it was like to actually get fucking hazed and like get fucked with, essentially.
Yeah.
And then like that slowly started to like go out of the military. and those new waves were coming in. Like, people weren't even getting smoked anymore, and essentially, you can kind of see the downfall of it right then and there.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's like, keep talking. Yeah.
and I think that ultimately, am I saying that you mentally abuse and physically abuse a soldier and it makes them tougher always? No. But there are some moments that, strapping a fucking ruck on his back and telling him, don't fucking stop until I tell you to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Right? Hit the tree line. You're going to make you do push ups until I'm fucking tired. There's some instances that is required because you know as well as I, and I'm not going to say any names, but you know who I'm talking about. They were not smart in any way, shape, or form, and they always got the platoon fucked up.
Anyways, but yeah. But it's, what was I gonna say? Shit, I forget. I was gonna say, so recently a bunch of people have been talking about COVID and its impact. Like, teachers have been talking about how COVID like has made students less social, which obviously makes sense. But now we're seeing that generation that was in high school, like the pivotal points of their life going through COVID. Now they're college students. So they're like seeing the effect kind of. But we also saw the effect of COVID in the Army because literally there are people in basic training and their job training, AIT, and then airborne school who during COVID, like the restriction or the restrictions, the requirements were like super lenient. Like we heard that like they just passed a bunch of people through airborne school because they had too many people, like, and they need to get them out. So like even people that weren't meeting like the requirements that we had to go through were just passed. And it's like it has repercussions. You know what I mean? Like now we have, not saying all those people were bad soldiers, but you definitely have people that were airborne that probably shouldn't have been airborne and maybe just somewhere else in the Army, you know?
So are you saying that, like, not that they,
you basically
are you
have
saying
people
that
show up
they
to an
didn't
airborne unit and you're like, how the fuck did you get here? You know what I mean? It's like across the board for the most part, like you have to go through the specific training and you have to at least like, what you go through in airborne school isn't hell, but it's still like physically demanding and like mentally demanding and stuff like that. And then you have these people show up and you're like, you didn't have to do the airborne PT test, did you? You know what I mean? And it's like, no, man. And it's like, yeah, it shows. I mean, I'm not even saying the PT aspect of it. I'm saying like that and the mental side of things. Like, I don't even care. I'll talk about this because it's so long ago, but disclaimer, I have known female soldiers who are very badass. But I had a specific female soldier and on my team that was essentially, I guess, like a lot of things were happening in her personal life, maybe that were affecting her like mental health. But it ultimately led to her being at the range and breaking down crying because she didn't want to shoot the target because it looked like a person. Which, can you still hear me?
What?
Yeah. So, did you hear all that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. And looking back on it, I'm like, okay, this is like an easy cop out for someone who just doesn't want to be in that unit anymore. You know what I mean? Because they'll send you somewhere else. They'll be like, this person's like, send them to behavioral health and send them somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it was kind of like not necessarily a legit mental issue, although it could have been. But like saying you don't want to shoot a target because it looks like a person after you've done it for years or months is like sus, you know?
Okay,
But that's
so I mean,
just an example. It's like, dude, like these people, like they would have never made it through airborne school if the restriction wasn't laxed. And now I'm sure it's back up to where it was before, hopefully. But yeah, it's sad.
so, it is.
And then I'm also like, we're the old guys
But-
just being like, yeah, back in my day, you know. I'm like,
back in
times
my
do-
day, I had to walk
Time-
uphill in the snow with no shoes.
yeah, it's like times do change, but war doesn't. Like the basic fact of trying to kill or be killed is never changes. It's like it's gonna happen. So
No, dude. If anything, it's progressing. You see bro? Have you seen that shit that they have in fucking Ukraine, where essentially they're just live streaming people just dying, fucking drones just coming in and just straight bombing somebody and blowing them the fuck up?
no, I've not.
Like, dude, like what?
Well,
Like, bro, I watched a video where a drone. They watched this dude like paddle, like it had a fucking boat, and his drone was just flying over, and he had a mortar, and then he just dropped it, and the dude who was controlling the drone, you could tell he had to have done this multiple times because the people were like down here, and the drone was like over here, and he dropped it, and the mortar went.
like perfect.
And bro, splattered them.
Yeah.
Sunk the fucking boat, killed the dudes. I was like, bro, could you like as technology gets worse and worse, bro, could you imagine being out on the field not only shooting at somebody, but then having some guy
no technology
just sitting there sitting there basically like looking out for drones because one could just come down and have a grenade.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. You know how pissed I would be if I die by a robot? I'd be so mad.
Bro, so pissed. I'd
be like, hey,
if I'm gonna die to a robot
in a hand-to-hand combat or something.
Right, like if you're gonna
knife, bro, I want a knife right here. I don't want to be like human, meow, pew, pew. Oh, that's
no. You know, here's the thing. If I'm gonna die by a robot, I want it to be like like the T-800, like Terminator type shit.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean? At least that I fired it. I fired everything that I had at it, and it just looked at me and was just like, yeah.
Dude, I don't know. But anyways, we don't got to talk about like that anymore. But I just want to throw it out there because I think there's something. I mean, you talk about mental health and all that stuff in it. There's a bunch of shit that ties into it, right? But I think like things like feeling like this might sound stupid or like check me if you think this is stupid, but things like losing faith in like things like almost weighs a toll on me. Like I'm like, oh, the army isn't what it used to be. Like it's never going to be the same again. Like it was so great. And then I think that about the country, that's why this election was so important to me. Cause I'm like, dude, if Trump loses, like dudes fought in the Revolutionary War so that the people who sided with Britain could be basically with the same mindset. You know what I mean? Let the government have control, want to be back in power and then actually do it. And it's like, I'm like, maybe I'm overreacting to this shit. Like maybe it doesn't really matter.
No, you're not. You're not. I mean,
like,
here's the thing.
Like lose heart. It's like losing heart and like things that you used to care about. And it's like, it's not the same anymore though. You know what I mean? Like I rarely even
but you can't. You can't allow that. You can't. So here, like you can think it, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking mental health, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to look at a scenario like that and just go, oh, "Fuck, man! It's not what it used to be." So I mean, it's just going to continue to go downhill. So why the fuck do I even care?
Yeah.
And but you can't have that defeatist mindset because at the end of the day, if you feel so, if you're like essentially upset about something and it's bothering you to like down to your core,
where you can't.
Why the fuck? No, but why not try to do something instead of being one of these people that talk about it?
Yeah.
Fucking why don't you try to change it? Because there's a lot of fucking people. It doesn't matter if it's the military. It doesn't matter if it's the economy. It doesn't like, dude, you can look at an example of pretty much anything. There's a group of people that sit around bitching about something, but then they never want to take action in order to fix it. Never.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a life lesson because you can sit there and again, you can have those moments of where you're just like, well, I mean, fuck it. Why even try?
Like I had that conversation.
But you can't. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but I had that conversation with you about like veterans, like in the past compared to now. Like that wear these veteran hats and t-shirts and they're so proud. And then you have like our generation. It's like, dude, I don't know if any of my buddies wear any of their shit ever. You know what I mean? It's like, is it
No.
because of what it's become and we're not as proud of it? Is it because the combat thing, like you said last time we talked, you're like, maybe it's because they actually like were in
No, that's
danger or
100% what
whatever.
it is. I want you to think about this, okay? The guys that you see that are rocking that merchandise, right? Essentially,
Yeah. But
where
also,
a vet and this, that, and the other,
yeah.
they have pride simply because, bro, they fought in
Yeah.
ridiculous circumstances and essentially, um, best way I can describe it, it was force on force conflicts, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in like a lot of vets from like the Iraq War or the Afghanistan War, they don't feel fucking happy about anything because at the end of the day, you never knew who the fuck you were fighting. You didn't know if the
Yeah.
guy that you that walked up and said hi to you, for 6 months straight. You didn't know if you were going to show up and then he was going to have a gun on him or a fucking bomb and then try to kill you.
Yeah.
And there's no real honor in that in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
So, whereas in, take a World War II vet. Anytime you hear any of those World War II vets talk, they were like, "Yeah, I was there. I fucked shit up, and we
Yeah.
won,
Yeah.
bitch."
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You don't get
Yeah.
that with the Iraq or Afghanistan war because there was no actual, there was no real confrontation in the sense of it's you versus me, and I'm going to fuck home. End of story.
Yeah. No, that makes
And
sense.
again, war's changing. So, there's, as well as I do, take our unit, for example, right? How often did we fucking deploy? And then when you did deploy, you weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much like, how am I supposed to sit here and wear like a hat that says veteran or whatever? And then, I'm sitting next to the guy at the VA who was, walking around with a fucking flamethrower with a goddamn, tank on his back
Yeah.
that if
Yeah.
he got nicked would have blown him the fuck up and his 10 buddies next to him. How am I
Yeah.
supposed to sit next to that dude and have the same amount of pride that he does?
Yeah.
And I think I think that's where it's, it essentially boils down to.
Yeah. And I mean, it also is like, well, we don't really want war too, you know? So it's like, I
No.
guess going in the military is like, I mean, you sign up to go to war, but it's like, in the grand scheme of things, you don't want war in the world. But it's like,
Who
well,
don't
then
want
you're just
war?
going to.
You don't want war?
Yeah, no. Bro, I don't want war, all right? Yeah.
Hey,
But it's
I
like,
think
it's like this. It's like this. It's like when, like, we don't want to go to war. And it's like, well, I can't even say this the wrong way because it'll sound terrible. But I'm like, basically, people
God.
going in the military, like, it's like, well, if we're not ever going to be in a war, they're basically just, they're going to be multiple generations of like, well, we didn't do anything anyways. You know what I mean? That's how I'll say it.
But
It's
again,
like
there
you
still
don't want
needs
to
to
send them
be
to war, you know, just to give them a deeper purpose. That's terrible.
right. But here's the thing. I think maybe this is something you can talk about in the future when you have other vets on. Maybe you need to start something in the sense of like, potentially like trying to instill pride in vets that maybe didn't feel like they did something. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, every vet at their core still did something that nobody else in society, less than 1%, did, and
Yes.
signed that dotted line.
Sign a
Because
line,
again,
take me away.
there was still a chance that you, by doing so, signed your life
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And not a whole lot of fucking people
It's like
are
the
willing to do
willingness.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Right.
you were, yeah. You were willing if it came down to it, and where most people aren't. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because our unit only deployed twice in the 5 years that I was there.
Yeah.
Only twice. The first time was when I first got there, and we've talked about this before, and then the second time was as I was getting out.
Yeah.
So I didn't get the opportunity to fucking deploy. It just is what it is. And I tell people, I tell that to people nowadays. Like I'll talk to dudes that have done 3 or 4 tours in Afghanistan or in Iraq, and they're like, "Did you ever deploy?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, well, why not? And I was like, well, one, I was in the fucking airborne unit, and the second brigade, you know how that works as far as parade brigade. And two, when our MOS deploys, it's not like everybody goes.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
It all depends on like there's so many details that people don't understand. It's like whatever.
Right.
Yeah. It's interesting shit. I hate talking about it sometimes because I'm like, yeah, I guess. And then you also deal with the thing, bro. This is it right here. Okay. So you get out, and even if you didn't deploy, or you didn't go to combat, or you did deploy and didn't go to combat, whatever it is, you still feel different than a normal civilian. So there's like I had a rocky time, bro. I had a rocky time. A lot of alcohol. Anyways, but you don't feel like you relate to the average person, right? But then also, this is terrible, but I guess like you almost think that people would care that you were a veteran. You know what I mean? And it's like you get out and you realize
it's the opposite, bro.
No one really gives a shit. You know what I mean? It's like, hey,
well,
like
no,
my one buddy texted me. He's like, yeah, man. Like when I was first year of college, he's like, people think it's cool that you're a vet, and I'm like, no one really gives a shit, man. I'm just an old guy. It's kind of awkward, actually. Where you get out of the army and you're like, I'm gonna go to college. It's gonna be cool. Like all these, it's gonna be like I'm gonna be the shit, because I did my time. I got some experience under my belt. It's like, and here we go. And that's like, why is there a fucking 25-year-old man sitting in the back of my classroom? Hey, can't indoctrinate me, baby. I've already been indoctrinated.
Bro, but here's the thing. It's not even just college. It's trade schools too, bro. Look at, so me, right? I got out, did my own little thing for a few years, and then decided I wanted to, pursue a trade that I've always wanted to do. And then, I get there, and the only other people that are around the same age as me are other vets. And all the other ones are young. And then whenever we say anything in the classroom, they're like, oh, these fucking old heads. And you're like, bro, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not even old, man.
It's like in the grand scheme of things, I'm not old. But when you're next to these people, you're like, well, me, I'm like, thank God I didn't go to college when I was that age, because I don't think I would have made it. I would have failed out, bro. I hated school. Like the army literally taught me to like learning, which is weird to say. But when I sat through a JFO class, I was like, whoa, I got to study these like missiles and bombs and shit. And then I was like, I did really good in that. I did really good in that class. And then I was like, I'm smart if I just gave a shit, He's
like, I'm smart as long as it's about killing people.
Yeah, right. But that's when I realized, I was like, dude, I'm smart as long as I care and spend time doing it. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but who cares, man? It's like, I do feel, I don't know, you can comment on this, but I think this is a good thing. When I got out, or I feel like the longer I'm out, the more detached I am from like the person I was, which is good, right? Because you change over time. But it's more so what I'm saying is like when I got out, like that first year I got out, I like in the back of my head almost every day, I'm like, I'm going to wind up going back in the army because that's the only option, blah, blah, right? And then like a year out, it's like, well, like I'm still like in the gym, still running, doing all that shit because maybe like if the opportunity pops up, I'll go back in or like try SF or something.
Bro, I was worried about your first year.
And then the next year, which is this year, I'm like, dude, hell, fucking no, I'm like, I made it. Like I constantly, and it's like, it's not a bad thing. It's like I've, like I meet Jocelyn, and then it's like, okay, I'm actually building a life outside of here. I got my dog, all this stuff, and it's like, got my own apartment. It's like, okay, I'm starting to.
Wait, I can't survive outside the army.
I'm starting to like build. Yeah, you're like, I'm starting to like actually build my dreams here, and I, because for a while I was just like, I was born to do that, and I'm like, nah, that's not.
No, it did. Listen. And again, we've talked about this in the past. It's as well as I that when you're in the army, when you go to get out, it doesn't matter for what reason you're getting out. The moment you decide you're getting out, you're instantly a shitbag. One, two, you're constantly told that the outside world is really hard, and that are you sure that you're going to be able to make it? And it's hard out there for a pimp, and all this other bullshit. When in reality, it's like, no, as long as you have your head on your shoulders and you're utilizing the shit that you worked for,
yeah,
then you can make it happen. It's really not that complicated.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. The Army's too, like, I think I probably told you this before, and maybe the old podcast I used to do when I had you on, but I like the biggest thing ever that really made my decision to get out of the Army was this dude was like he was talking at someone's promotion ceremony, and like his wife and kids were there or whatever, and he's just like, listen, man, if the Army, if you stay in the Army, like, you can, like, here's life, man, and outside the Army you can like get this high, bro. But outside the Army, you can get this low too. He's like, but in the Army, you might only ever be able to get this high, but you'll never fall below this. And I was like, your wife and kids, like, you're embarrassing. But
no, like, bro, because it's like real. Because in that moment, you click. Yes, exactly.
Why would you want the risk reward? You know what I mean?
Right.
I might wind up here. Okay, cool. But you're telling me I can go over here? Huh? And then there's so many people.
Of course, I want to fucking experience. Why would I not want to try for this? Yeah. And then potentially deal with that. But you're saying if I could stay here,
what the fuck is that? What are you holding?
This is. Oh, hey.
It was like wobbling and shit like this. I was like, oh, that's your bracelet, right?
Yeah, it's my dot bracelet. So you should get this because if you're, you have a business or you're trying to network with people, essentially they can scan it. Yeah.
Or me and my buddy talking about killing people.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You can touch the back of their phone and it'll give you all their contact information.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw you use that at the event we were at.
Oh, yeah, dude. 100% you did.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, it was great because I was able to hold the camera and then I was going to be like, hey, turn your NFC on your phone. They're like, oh, and I was like, boop, here you go. Now you have my email, you have my phone number, you have my social media.
You have all my inappropriate pictures.
Yes, all of them.
Sorry about that.
Specifically. Those are the only ones that I share with people.
That's funny.
Just me completely.
Oh, sorry, wrong airdrop. I must have downloaded the wrong stuff for this bracelet, man.
They just open it up and it's just me straight Ace Ventura, fucking booty cheek spread, like
talking out your ass.
Literally talking out my ass. So what's been going on with you, man? As far as because I know that you actually just got certified, didn't you?
No,
or am I fucking
shit?
Really?
I mean, I don't have anybody yet. But yeah, I was like, dude, honestly, I feel you're talking about the personal training thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm basically like, I see all these trainers or whatever that don't necessarily have like the build that I have. And it's frustrating because I'm like, okay, well, it's like I have the results. So obviously I know what I'm doing to a certain extent, right? And while that won't carry you very far, it's enough to, I think, get you started. You know what I mean? To be like, are you going to listen to like this super skinny dude who has his certification, or are you going to listen to someone who's been in the gym for 7 years? You know what I mean? So it's like, that's kind of the approach I took to it, because I have communicated with like people on Instagram that try to get you to like take their course on how to grow your business, that type of thing. But on the financial side, to be like, you want to be an online fitness trainer, like sign up for our thing. And I like had talked to the guy a little bit, and he's like, you're not a personal trainer already? And I was like, no, I'm waiting on getting my certification. He's like, you're not training because you're not certified. And then I was like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, that is kind of dumb. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's a small circle of people that are like, hey, throw me $100 and I'll help you out for like every month. You know what I mean?
See, he's just going to go,
I'm like, why you look like that?
Is he frozen? Is he frozen? Oh, wait. So you can pause it and then restart it?
Yeah, I just paused it, and well, now we're recording. But yeah, I mean,
okay.
I can do edits afterwards, but for the most part, I mean, yeah, I just click pause, and I mean, Sometimes I feel like having the little blip in the podcast, while like people can be like sticklers on it being like super professional, I feel like it kind of makes it more real sometimes.
No, dude. Honestly, I tell
Like you're
people
like,
this
hey,
all the
I'm gonna go
time.
make a drink, and I'm like, yeah. Click pause. Hey, we're back. You know, like you don't got to be like
Right.
all like super cut. Oh, they couldn't tell we were gone. Like, dude, who gives a shit?
No, because dude, document, not manufacture. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because people want to know
It's a
that like
conversation,
you're right,
real person.
legitimately. And
But yeah,
sometimes in
so
the middle of a conversation, your stomach just starts going crazy, and you have to take a massive deuce. You know what I mean?
oh, okay, I got you. That was fast. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just kidding. No,
Yeah,
that was not what
I know,
happened.
I know. But yeah,
Oh,
anyways,
you
we're
were
talking about
talking.
the training thing,
Yeah,
right?
you were saying that a guy basically was just like, wait, so you're not training because you don't have certifications? Like, none of us do.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously at this point and like where they're at, they do. But I feel like most people just kind of start, which is, I mean, I'm not the point where it's something that I want to do like full time, really. I mean, if it worked, it worked, I guess, right? But it's not something I'm like I enjoy. Like if I could ever make like a podcast or something like that work, like through sponsors or even just like even just being a fitness person online. But I find also my brain's going everywhere. Um, I don't like. I used to want to be like a fitness influencer, like on Instagram with like, you know what I mean? Like you get all these sponsors
Bro,
to all
because you
these
can.
brands.
You have the look. You
Yeah,
have
but
the
I'm
look.
like,
You have the
but my
hair. You have
yeah,
the
I need,
body. You have like
but
literally
I've
all of
had
that shit. You have straight teeth, bro. Fuck you. You know what I
bro.
mean? Like, no. So I think we need to have a conversation and like genuinely, because here's the thing: if you're going to the gym, you're doing things anyways, bro. It takes you literally
Passive
nothing,
income. Yeah.
nothing to literally just hook your phone up to like a gimbal and then just like record some shit and
Yeah.
then just be that that influencer that you're talking about, because at the end of the day
Yeah.
you don't need to do super crazy edits, bro. So the
Yeah.
people that are making it big out there, they're not going home, taking that, transferring it to a fucking super powered PC, then taking it to Adobe, and then putting it in Premiere Pro, and then blowing it the fuck up, and then taking it to After Effects, and then putting all. They're not doing that, dude. They're literally
Yeah. Yeah.
recording it on their fucking phone using the software that's built into these bullshit fucking apps, and then literally just adding the most trendy effects, and then they're winning,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. I mean, a
You
lot
could
of
be
my
doing that
stuff is
exact same
like,
thing.
yeah, yeah. I understand that. It's like it's kind of excuses on my end to be real,
If
but it's
you
like,
understand it, then do it, bitch.
yeah, I know, but there's like, a lot of these guys. Let me give stick up for myself here. A lot of these guys have like a place for like a garage gym or something where they can fully 100% just wow, you look so invested. Um they have their own places where they can be their own self. They can talk in the mic, not give a fuck who's around because no one else is around. Like they can make funny content. I literally try to make content in my apartment gym. Number one, the acoustics in that place are like you feel like you're in a fucking bathroom. And number two, I'm like, if somebody walks up in this bitch and I'm out here fucking talking to the camera, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Which doesn't matter, right? Because it doesn't matter
No,
what
it
people
doesn't.
think.
You
But
see,
it
you're
does
caring
matter when
too
they
much
walk
about
into
what
my
people think.
they walk into my
You are
frame.
giving a
They think
fuck
it's
about
creepy.
what people
Their
think, and
husband
no
comes
one gives
and
a
beats the shit out of me.
shit.
Their husband beats the shit out of me because
No one's
his
gonna beat the
wife
fuck out of
walked into the
you.
background.
You
Yeah, I'll beat
fucking
them.
bro. Hey, that right there, that little 30 seconds needs to be the intro to your just us talking over each other.
People click
No,
on
but
it.
bro,
Oh no, click off.
yeah, right. No, but here's the thing, dude.
Excuses.
I have a
Yeah, I
buddy.
know.
I have a buddy of mine that he's in the barbering program, and now he posts every fucking day. He's really big into like fitness,
Yeah,
and his videos aren't super high quality, but
yeah,
he just posts and he records the exercises that he's doing, and he's just doing it, and then he'll talk into the camera and try to be as motivational as possible. But he's actually getting some traction with it, bro. You could be doing the exact same fucking
yeah.
thing, but like you
I mean,
actually like.
I have a second TikTok for my fitness stuff. Am I alive? I just
You're
haven't.
being lazy, is what it is.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I got to get on that because I'm like, hey, this is the one thing I'm actually good at. Maybe I should try to, what is it called? Scale it. Maybe I should try to scale it like a alligator or something.
Right,
But anyways,
bro.
off the subject of fitness,
He's like, I want to get off this topic of talking about fitness because I'm realizing the
no, you
further
want
we talk about this that I am the problem.
to?
You know, you weren't even cool enough to have a drink with me when I was at your house. You know, just hanging out with you.
Yeah,
But you know, uh,
we
because
got.
somebody doesn't know how to self control.
Hey, I do.
he's like,
It's the
I
other
do.
guy. It's the other
I
guy
just,
that doesn't know
it's
what
the
he's
other
doing.
guy.
It's 3 a.m. Cam. He comes out and he's not nice, bro.
3 a.m. Cam comes out with just the shades on and a beanie. Just
I'm serious. You think I
yeah,
have
I'm
some
gonna fuck
personality
your life up.
disorder if I drink? It's not Cam. It's Patricia. Fucking
It's
split.
Patricia. Bro, that's fucking
Bro.
great.
Yeah, but anyways, so that's why I haven't been. I mean, not because the cough thing, but yeah, I have been not drinking. So I think that's good for me personally. But hey, I'm not against alcohol. I'm just against alcohol for me right now. So that's cool, right? I'm such a good person. Look at
Dude,
me.
you got
I'm such a fucking good person
I'm
that I
such
don't
a
drink.
functioning member of society.
I'm such a fucking good person, man. I just feel
Right?
so good. I'm just the best, you know. People who drink are not as good as me.
He's just like I'm such I am literally the happiest I've ever been.
Hey,
Again,
you
dark
know,
humor.
it's okay though. Yeah. It's good. I think it's been a learning process if that matters, but whatever,
What are you
right?
talking about? Are you talking about
Just
the not
drinking.
drinking?
Yeah, drinking, not
Oh yeah,
drinking.
yeah, yeah.
I've had a
One
very
hundred
like
percent.
a very interesting relationship with alcohol, like to the point where I did 75 hard, so I like quit cold turkey. I mean, not that I never really thought I was addicted to it. I just had a habit, you know. But after did I tell you all this? I did 75 hard. You
Yeah,
knew that.
you
But
literally,
then
bro. That's literally like the
we had
number
this
one.
conversation, right?
Yeah, when I was there last, the number one thing about fucking addiction is the number one thing you just said. I didn't think I had a problem. Denial.
Oh, well, no, I knew it was an issue, but I don't know if I was like here. I'll tell you the reason I say that is because I know of people who have it much worse to the point where I'm like, okay, I had a problem. The reason I say that is because I understand, especially looking back, I understand that it was a problem, right? But I don't ever think that I was like, and I say that I don't think I was ever like physically addicted to it to the point where I needed it to function because you know there's people out there that actually have that issue. So for me to walk around and be like I was an alcoholic, I think is extreme and like kind of a victim mindset. I was like, no, I never really needed to take a shot because I was shaking too bad. I just like to go crazy and be destructive, you know what I mean? So, but what do they call it? It's different. It's like there's a difference between alcoholism and then like alcohol abuse disorder. You know what I mean? They're two separate things. So
Right.
it's like, so I was definitely on the alcohol abuse side. Like it's so funny, dude. I'm sitting in my fucking class on like mental illness and stuff, and it's like these are like the if you have the criteria to meet these things, right? And I'm sitting there reading it, and I'm like, holy shit, bro, I had a problem.
I check every one
I
of these
check
boxes.
every single box. Yeah. And then it's like the major depressive episode like requirements. And it's like after every time I drink, I check a lot of those boxes too. And I'm like, but not only after I drink, so technically it's not major depressive episode. But anyways, or it is, but it's induced. Anyways, not to be textbook, but
Stop
I just
that denial shit, bro. Just
yeah, no, but I
understand
don't
that you're a depressed drunkie.
yeah, no. No, but I had a very like I don't know. I think I was just trying to figure out my place in the world. And I was very stressed
Bro, it's
out
because
with
you were fucking sheltered.
yeah.
we've been over this. When you first got to the fucking unit, you were like, my name's Cam. I like long walks on the beach, and Jesus is like my best friend, bro. And I'm like,
Bro, that
all
is
right, so
pretty much
what do you like to do for fun, Cam? And you're like,
I said work
so
out.
Bible studies like my favorite, but working out is cool too. Like, all right, so we do PT and you're gonna work out. All right, but like you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't dip, you don't do anything, and you're like, no. So like God shows me that like my body's a temple, and like I
And you're probably like, this is a ticking time bomb, bro.
no,
And
bro, I told you that. I
there were
fucking told you.
dude,
I
there were
literally said, bro, you need to genuinely like experience some shit because my fear for you is that you're gonna allow these fucking hooligans to sway your mind, and the moment it happens, you're gonna be like that Amish kid that their fathers just handed them $3,000 and was just like, go and experience life,
I'll see you
and
in a
then
week.
decide. Yeah, the fuck. You don't remember me sitting you down, literally
Oh no,
when
I remember a lot of that shit, but it's just like
yeah,
after that, I think there were pivotal points that that definitely like kind of woke me up to be like, oh, like life is not all like that. You know what I mean? But anyways, I do think on that note, a lot of the I don't know what you want to call it, like whether it's religious, philosophical, like those types of thoughts and thinking, I think is a huge reason like behind why I drank so much. I really do. And I told my one buddy, he's like, well, yeah, man, that's why a lot of people drink. And I was like, okay, I didn't know I was just like everybody else, you know? Like I actually thought I was
that's
like,
not why I drink.
I spent so much time like being like, I don't know what is real. And I honestly don't think I will ever know. And that really bothered me. So I was like, I feel like that's a way for me to be like, hey, I'm chill. Like, I don't care, bro. We all die anyways. Who cares? Just relax, enjoy life. And now that I'm sober, I'm definitely just like, what the fuck is real, man? You know, like trying to figure it out. But it really don't matter.
Right.
I mean, here we are making a podcast, you know. All right, guys. Now we'll be
That
playing Russian roulette on live podcast.
bro, that's where we get. Hey, that's exactly where you have to pick that up.
That's how
You're like, all right, guys, you're not going to be able to see what I'm about to show him, and then
now,
the next, all right, guys, so we're going to be playing Russian roulette on.
as you can
Yes.
see, it worked out fine. So yeah,
That's
yeah, I don't
absolutely
know. It's
fucked.
just like I just never had one outside the army, so I was like, I should get me one. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Really, you've never had a firearm like ever?
No, I've never
outside
had like
the-
an I've never had like an M4 like AR build, you know.
Okay.
I've had my handgun like since I've been out, but it's like when the White House Facebook page posts ban all assault weapons with exclamation points, you're like, maybe I should get one of those.
Yep. I have mine. I have a. That's why I said we got to do a range day because I promise you I'm going to bring some shit out and you're going to be like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
see, if the government protected us, you wouldn't need those guns.
all right. So under that logic, if a random crackhead kicks in your door at night, are you expecting the government to come protect you?
Call the cops that we don't support.
Cops don't respond fast enough to hear shots fired.
Exactly.
I think
Dude,
of
I
the
can't
amazing
even
rapper.
pretend. I can't even be devil's advocate. It's so stupid.
So fucking dumb.
Like, this shit don't even make sense.
Is that what you're trying to do there? You're trying to be the
Yeah, I was trying to be
the-
like a liberal as hell, man. Like, you don't need those, you know. But yeah. How do women like get with guys like that and like that shit? Be like, this guy is the ultimate.
I can tell you what.
This guy's the
Can
ultimate
I be real?
pussy.
Can I
Probably
answer that?
because they're-
I'll tell you.
They walk all over them. They have control, I guess.
Right. No, that's 100% it. They're simps. So
Yeah.
they can literally tell them, jump high, give me money, do all this shit. and they're
Yeah.
gonna fucking do it because at the end of the day, they're just like, oh my god, I'm so thankful to just be able to look at pussy.